It's Monday, April 29th, 2019. We have a classic Fibonacci retracement possible now with this Bitcoin divergence caused by Bitfinex starting to play itself out. This is the 24 hours of Bitcoin. You can pause the video to read the disclaimer or click on a link in the description below. Each day I'm going to slip in a community special, and this week we are featuring a special on my book. It includes 4 years of practical crypto trading strategies boiled down into the best of the strategies in this 100-page book, and I will talk more about that later in the show. Let's dig in now. We're looking at the price of Bitcoin on the 12-hour bars, and we're looking at Bitstamp in the foreground and Bitfinex in the background. So we can see this divergence that has been quite the talk of the town this last few days because it's only on Bitfinex and probably caused by all sorts of things that I'm not going to get into in the show here. What I'm going to look at here is the Rsi Divergence, and this is the divergence on the Bitstamp chart. This is the volume from Bitstamp as well. So we are seeing a bearish divergence, and this has been playing out for quite some time, but not a full trading signal on its own. When we go over and we look at the on balance volume, we can see there was a lot of volume here and not nearly as much volume on the second high, which for me is bearish. To see this divergence between the higher highs and the lower volume here, that's a bearish divergence. And so you can see in this chart, I've drawn in a couple arrows based on a Fibonacci retracement that I did from this high to this low. And so it's a general shot in the dark of pulling back halfway pretty much. If I was to clear that off and redraw that Fibonacci, it might be more accurate to do something from that range and expect some pullback that might be similar about the 4,500 range. And this would be normal and not a problem for the overall long-term 1, 2, 3 bottom formation for a huge turnaround in the market. It wouldn't be a problem, except if you're long right now on leverage on these charts. Let's take a look at that next one now. So we're at the 12-hour bar view, and we're looking at the MACD indicator. We had the crossover to sell here. We had the crossover showing weakness, and the same divergence is showing up here. That's not good for expecting any more bullish from this right now. We've got the green underneath the red, which is more bearish. We've got a negative histogram that has to turn around and come up before we can go any further. And this may be coming. Let's go zoom in on time frames now. Zoom in so that we are looking at the 1-hour bar view, clear off. And what I'm wanting to see is what's actually going on in this recent time. This is where things have changed. So now we have this really nice trading range in Bitstamp, and we have a different range in Bitfinex. And I'm watching this RSI. Are you diverging and giving me a bullish flare here at this close-in view? Let's zoom into the 1-hour bar and take a look at the on-balance volume. Not as happy here. I'm not seeing as much picking up and buying volume at the last part of this time frame. So let's zoom into the 1-hour bar, and this looks a little bit better where the MACD has crossed over and holding around the middle point. At least it's not holding down below, but it's still not giving me enough of a turnaround and a solid move. Maybe in the 4-hour bar, no, it's still, that's the 12-hour bar. If I go to the 4-hour bar, it has crossed over and a little bit more positive on the 4-hour bar. Let's check the 4-hour bar on balance volume. Still, it's a little bit less negative, but it hasn't switched to positive. So this would have to switch to positive as this is breaking higher. Now, of course, every day in the show, we go over these 4 charts, and these are still based on Bitfinex. I haven't switched them over to Bitstamp to see what the difference is. It'd be great to have a second panel that I could just open up and show the differences in the shape. But this is a general overall pattern that should we be breaking down from here, that's very bearish. And these are the 4-hour charts. These are all making similar patterns that if they are all breaking at the same time, that makes me feel more bearish about the whole market overall, just for the next little while to pull back to the 4,300, retest these levels. You know, Litecoin could come all the way back to $50. no worries. I wouldn't expect that Stellar is going to come back that much further. It may come down to the 9 or 8.5 cents range. You get my idea. We're going back down perhaps to the inner support levels of these formations before we're moving higher. And if we look back to 2015, that's not so unlikely. Now, this chart here is the altcoin market cap overall. And we're seeing from February until now, it really went up on April 1st, but it's making a trend break right there. We have an uptrend line and it's broken that trend line. The common sell signal, if this was a price chart for trading an item, but this is actually the altcoin market cap. This gets more significant when we take a look at the Bitcoin dominance and we see that it's making a bottom formation and about to break higher. So it gives me the indication that all the alts are going to be taking a step back, and this is a similar pattern we saw from May and June of 2016 all the way until March of 2017. So it's a long-term effect going into the markets, and we're seeing some of the short-term pain right now. If we go to Binance, there's a big sea of red here all the way along, where just over the last 24 hours, it's been a lot of selling in the cryptos. Of course, we're tracking this over in our alerts package. We're going through everything on Binance, and we're saying which ones pass our trading plan. And I'll talk about that trading plan in a second. So as I'm going through this study, we had 46 of them that passed, 49 that are nearly failing down to new lows, and 49 of them that had failed to new lows. This is good data, but compared to what? You know, it's always relative. So here is that same data over a few days. On Thursday, we had 57 that were passing. They were still above their 1, 2, 3 bottom formations, the lows that we had in September to December recently. And only 34 had failed down to new lows. All 34 of them should have been sold and got out of as soon as they're breaking those lows. Now we have 49 that have failed, and I'll be redoing that scan probably Wednesday to continue to study how many have changed, but we go over the specific ones that have already changed. Which ones are the opportunities now within these ones that have stayed above their support and resistance levels? What are those that are in a warning phase? What are their chart patterns doing? Those are the ones that are most interesting. And we're doing this all according to our simple trading plan. You can get a free chapter from my book, The Simple Trading Plan, but I'd recommend that you go to the link that is down below the video, and this will bring you to the main sales page for the book. You can go through the details here, find out about where I came up with this stuff. I didn't make it up myself. It's stuff that I learned and tested and made it proved that it works in the cryptocurrencies. And I turned this trading plan over the last 4 years. I've turned it into a 100-page book, a little bit more than 100 pages in this. And it talks about what I did from the beginning in 2015 when I first started crypto trading with nothing. And I worked and traded my way up to $9,000 by January 2017 and up to $500,000 by January 2018. You've probably heard lots of people had these stories before. They didn't cash out. Now they have no money. So I was able to cash out there in January, and I cashed out again in May. So it did well in not only getting the entries, but also hitting the exits in these trades. These are insane returns, absolutely insane returns. And I've put it together in my book. It's not a pump and dump scheme. There's no promises of 10 times your money, but you know, it can happen. So I share everything that I'm doing in my trading, and I do this on these videos so that I'm also learning at the same time. You can learn more about my story, how I started out when I was struggling with money. And if the book isn't for you, then I recommend as you go to leave the page, click on yes for the free chapter. Go to the next page and get the free chapter for the book. You'll get the core chapter in the book that we are using in this video. Let me go back to it. The Simple Trading Plan, the free chapter. It's only a few pages, and it's all you need. If you are just starting out in cryptocurrencies, this is all you need. And so there's no reason to miss out on this stuff. You can get the book at an incredible discount because I'm just starting this promotion out. Or if you're just starting out, I really want to make sure that some of these things that have helped me can also help you get that free trading plan. And that wraps it up for today. Let's go back to our 4 charts and zoom in to the 5-minute bars and see what's actually going on. Because most of the time when we've had these big pullbacks, they've been rejected. But there's going to be one time that these are not going to be rejected, and down we're going to go. Litecoin has been the leader, and it looks like it's going down like a set of stairs, like a slinky on the stairs. And so I'm anticipating there's a potential for a good sharp drop out of these if it doesn't hold and build some stages back above. We've got some triangles here for all of these markets. They must build back up above and make a stage above it before I'm going to gain any confidence that the bears are not stronger right now than the bulls. That's it for today. I appreciate you guys hanging out here with me. Put the thumbs up if you like it, subscribe if you like it, and leave a comment below if you've got some questions, if you've got some suggestions, if you've got some opinions about what this is actually going to end up doing. We can all flip a coin and bet on it. Cheers. All the best in your Bitcoin trading. This is the 24 hours of Bitcoin.